Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Conversation. Hi, everybody. Wow, a little bit of technical problems this morning. And yes, you're only seeing myself because our darling Jeryl Ann is not, she's on the road actually right now. So let's have a good. Whoops. Yes, you're only seeing myself because our darling Jeryl Ann is not, she's on the road actually right now. So let's have a thing. And yes, you're only seeing myself because our darling Jeryl Ann is not, she's on the road actually right now. So let's have a thing. Bear with me. Okay, I was trying to figure out where the noise was coming from. I finally got rid of that. Okay, so hang on. Let me get back to where you all are. Oh, wow. What a morning. Hello, everybody that's jumping on. I see you, Etta, Barb, Carrie. Good morning, Prachir. Hi, Wendy and Luann and Julie Kiss. Oh, my goodness. Hi, everybody. Um, please help me share this out if you would. I'm just going to do that right now. And then we're going to talk. I hope you have your coffee. And Wendy, I'm trusting that you shared it into the group as you usually do. You're so awesome. Isabel, thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you so much, Wendy. I appreciate that. So, good morning, everybody. If there's anyone new on, this is Coffee and Conversation, and it's usually myself and my beautiful co host, Jeryl Ann Peterson Heatherdale. But there was a family medical emergency, and she did take her husband to the hospital. So, Sam is at the hospital, and we're trusting and praying that the doctors will have the assistance of our beautiful Archangel Raphael. And Jeryl Ann's on the road right now going back home. So let's all just take a moment and lift her up and ask Archangel Michael to be with her for safety on the road as she is driving right this moment. And I know it's very tough to leave someone behind that is so dear to you. And Sam, it's he is a rock for her. So let's just really pray that she'll be able to drive and see clearly and hold back the tears as she's driving. Let's all just wrap our arms of love around her right now. And so glad that we're able to be together in the morning to do this. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for lifting her up in your prayers right now and all through the day. Just really keep her lifted and keep Sam lifted for his medical condition. So I want to say hello to those that jumped in: Carol Allen, Deirdre, Jennifer Langren. Hi, honey. Karen Plummer, Sharon Boyle, Carol Whitnall in the UK. And Etta, thank you. Thank you for sending those prayers and for you all lifting her up. Hi, Angie Taylor. Oh, so, how are you all doing this morning? We've almost got the whole gang here. I'm just watching as they roll in. It's a 2 hour drive. Sharon, from where she had to take him, she left out early this morning, so they would be one of the first ones being seen. And then they did decide to keep him. So I'm not sure how long he will be there, but we definitely all need to gather around Jeryl Ann right now and really lift her high and keep her spirits lifted and knowing that she's loved by us. And she knows she is, but it's always nice to hear that, isn't it? When somebody voices their love and their care for you. Yes, thank you. I know. I just wanted to take some time at the very beginning to do that, to lift Jeryl Ann and Sam, but especially she's on the road right now. So I think it's very important that we take this moment to acknowledge that we're calling in the angels for her and we're calling them to help her on her drive back home. And then throughout this day, it's going to be a very tender day there in her home without him there. So, yes, please, everyone, help keep her lifted up. So, yeah, let's just take that moment. And yes, we will keep you updated, Julie Kiss. Thank you for asking. Sharon, it's a 2 hour drive. And, or Wendy, I'm sorry, looked at the wrong thing. You were replying to Sharon. It's a 2 hour drive to the hospital. And so she'll be home in a couple of. I think it would be really nice if we would send her messages. You can message her on Facebook Messenger and just let her know that you're praying for her, that you're there right with her. It's so important, isn't it, for us to gather around each other in our down times. I know when we just have something, like my eye that was hurting, you all just give me such love and support. And it's important that we do that with each other, whether it's minor or it's something that's really huge like this. So thank you all for what you do. Thank you for your love and your care. And I love all of you so much. I appreciate you every morning as you come on here with me and just makes my day. It starts my day off on the right foot. So I wanted to make sure that I did the show today to let you all know what's going on so you could hold her in your thoughts and your prayers, and also to just be here with you because it helps me as much as it does you. So yes, let's continue this, whether it's me by myself or Jeryl Ann, or whatever happens that we're not able to be here. You all are important to us. So let me see what's going on with everybody jumping in. Hi, Fran Marley. Hi, Isabel. And Marianne Malone, Cindy, good morning to you. And Sally says good morning. On our way to the gastrointestinal doctor with Tony this morning and praying for answers. Yes, absolutely, Sally. And Sally, you came in a little late. I'm by myself because Gerald Ann had to take her husband Sam to the hospital this morning, and they did admit him. So she will be driving, or she is driving back even now as we speak. So if you and Tony would lift her up in your prayers, and we definitely have Tony in our prayers today, and that doctor's visit, and hopefully get some answers for what's going on. And thank you, Karen Plummer. And Joanne Castillo, good morning to you, my darling. And good morning, Gabby. Thank you for jumping in. So it's Wednesday, and as Deirdre likes to remind us, it's hump day. I love that. We're going over that hump. And yeah, it used to mean a lot more than it does now because many of us now are uh, not back into the normal routine that we used to do. So days are just days. They're not really, not marking like a beginning of a work week or middle or end. And it is a different routine, isn't it? How are you all adjusting to this? How is it for you to maybe not have a job, a routine that you did before? Or are you back in the workforce? Are you back out there doing what you did before the lockdown, before the world went crazy, like almost overnight? Um, Sally says, I'm aware and sending our prayers for them both and for anyone else facing the unknown. Thank you, Sally. I appreciate that, honey. Gabby, you're loving it. Okay. um, so for me, I'm starting to get busy again. Before everything happened, where we weren't able to be out in our regular routines in society, it was busy. I was busy constantly. So the lockdown for me was really hard because I wasn't doing all the normal things that I do. I wasn't able to go out to clients' houses. I do a lot of house clearings of the energy. I do energy healing. So I wasn't able to go out and do those things. And now a lot of what I do is online, but I still have clients that prefer me to be there, right with them. So I'm starting to get a little busier with that. I'm getting some new clients, which I love. I love the energy of the new and working with people. And Gabby has given me the time to work on myself. I think that's been the big bonus for all of us through this. It was an opportunity for us to take that time, right? To really go inside and see who we are and what we're all about and examine our everything, our beliefs, examine our goals, and our path that we're on. So I love that. And what it gave me also was a time of creativity. And that's where the master classes came up. I was able to just sit and see what spirit wanted from me. What do you want me to do? How do you want me um, to go out into the world and make a difference? So I was given four master classes, and those are in process. And I'm excited about Sundays. We're going to talk about how to increase your clair ability. This could be clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, all of them. We're going to talk about them, and the handouts have been made. So if you've signed up for that class, you will get not only the information and the experiential, where you're going to do some exercises, but you'll also get a lot of information about them. Uh, Deirdre, I was self isolating way before it was a thing. I hear you, honey. Yeah, I would go out to clients, and I do like to shop, so I would go out and mostly window shop, and I missed that. But yeah, I like my little, I call it my cave where I live. It's tiny, and I love it, and I don't have to do anything. I don't have to mow the yard or the down part of that though is I don't have an area to do plants, and I was so envious when everybody was planting your flowers and your plants earlier this month. But that's okay because I can enjoy other people's, and we do have plants where I'm at, so I can go out and talk to the trees and visit with the plants. So what else we got? Karen Plummer. I'm in Sweden, so there is no lockdown yet, but being as careful as I can and working a little bit. Awesome. I'm so glad. Carol says it's very different. I really lose track of time as I used to know it. Yeah, I do too, Carol. There are days when I'm not sure even what day it is. And yeah, this morning every morning I have to get up and I have to look at my schedule, my calendar to know if I'm going out in the world or if I'm getting on the phone or on the computer. And this morning I looked and I actually do have a doctor's appointment this morning. So as soon as we're through with this show, I will be going over to the doctor for some testing to be done, and it's nothing to be concerned about at all, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, it's one of those things where you do lose track of days. And I know we joke about this day, that day, whatever day it might be, but it is an adjustment. It's something we're all going through together to adjust to the new. And now the lawn guys are here. See, I mentioned them and I called them in, didn't I? So let's give just a moment for them to get out from in front of my window. And I'll hold the mic closer to my mouth. Okay, so Gabby says, I don't mind my own company at all. You know what? That is the best place to be in. And let me tell you, I didn't always like myself, so I wasn't good company. I was very depressed at some points in my life, and so I didn't even want to be around me. So I know other people, but when we make that choice to be with ourselves, to really laugh with ourselves, that's a very good place to be in. You've really accomplished a lot of insight when you can do that. And hello to Martin CM. Gabby says, and it gave me the time to meet all of you, my tribe. Absolutely. And hi, Diane Deagle from Pi, Canada. Yes, Sally, it was a time of inner awareness and transformation. I hope you all can hear me okay. They're working right outside my window right now, so we're just going to move the mic closer and hope you all can hear me better. Good morning, Diana. Thank you for coming in this morning. And for all of you, please help share this out. And I just looked over and saw we have 22, that master number. I love that. Martin, we are coffee and conversation. We are drinking whatever coffee, tea, whatever, water, whatever you want to drink. And we're just talking, we're just socializing. And then at the end of the show today, probably about 8:20, we will hold each other up in prayer and whatever is there for you, if you want to put yourself, your friends, the world, whatever it might be. So thank you for joining us, Martin. Um, Gabby says she can't wait for Sunday. Yeah, Sunday's going to be one of the fun ones that we're doing. And we're going to, I'm going to give that guy a minute just outside my window. They do a good job. So I'm glad they're out there. All right. So Sunday, I was saying, is we're talking about your clairs, your natural abilities and gifts from God, and we're going to give some exercises of how you might increase the ability to tap into all of those gifts. Yes, Karen Plummer, you can sign up for that at Enlightened World Network. They have all the information up there. Just go onto that page and you'll be able to do it. I do miss the peace of the river, Wendy. Uh, I loved sitting out there at the river's edge and just seeing all of nature. I miss my ospreys. You know, they woke me up every morning, especially Lucy. She's very vocal. So I do miss seeing the beautiful animals and birds, and of course my babies, Angel and Brookie, and Jeryl Ann is my soul sister. So it's been tough. You know, there's times when I'll be sitting here working and I'll want to tell her something and it's like, oh, she's not in the other room. Yeah. So let me see. Sharon, what time is the class and how long? It starts at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and it's probably going to be about an hour to an hour and a half, Sharon. So I think that's about 6 o'clock your time, maybe. If you can do that math, I think it's your 5 hours difference. Yes, Gabby, I can have indoor plants now, and I say it that way because up until last year, I had two cats, and my cats would even eat plastic plants. Seriously, if it looked like a plant, they were going to chew on it. So I lost both of my babies last year. I lost my Tazzy. She was a black cat. I lost her in February. And then in October, my darling Gizmo left. He was an amazing cat. Well, they both were. I had them both for 19 years and I miss them so much, but I feel them. I feel their energy around me all the time. Carrie, my gifts seem to be rushing to the forefront after being on lockdown. I know, honey. I feel for you in that job, but I don't think you're going to be there for a very long, long, drawn out time. So just hold on to that. Hold on to the light at the end of the tunnel. And Joanne, yeah, some people do miss that routine, and it's very important to have a routine in your life. And you know, you can make a routine even if you're at home. You can schedule time, whatever you're going to do. If you're reading, writing, um, talking, visiting with friends on the phone or on the computer. Yeah, we all have the ability to do that. And Etta says, Prachir and I want to attend but can't find the third master class. It's on Enlightened World Network, Etta. If you go to that page, there is, I believe, at the very top, it's like a pinned post. So it'll be one of the first things you see. It's the master class. And I think it's by date. So if you go to Sunday's date, you'll be able to find all the information there. All right, Isabel says, I've been working through it all the time. I wish to have more free time. Back been trying to heal and be aware of me and clean myself. I understand you do healing one on one. Yes, Isabel, I think you might be the one that sent me a message, and I did reply to you on email. I do healings, I do angelic Reiki healing which is a beautiful modality. I also do Time Heals, which works with your chakras. So yeah, I had that on my scheduling page at Acuity, and I can put that link in for any of you that are interested in that. I also do angelic readings, and the lawnmower is back. And every month I do a special at the full moon and the new moon, and the full moon is coming up in just a couple of days. So I'll be running my special again for the angelic readings that I do. Okay, Luann, being patient has been my challenge over the past several weeks, and the light is starting to shine a lot brighter for me. All is falling into place. Awesome. Oh, Diane, you were in the wrong room. I'm glad you're here with us. I felt your energy come in. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you for letting me know. I had the lawn guys right outside my window, so hopefully they're almost done out there. Diane, I find my throat needs clearing a lot. What is that, or is it just aging? That could be the energy might be a little stagnant there in the throat chakra. And I did a class on the chakras and taught how to open up each one. But yeah, that's something that you can do, or you can have somebody else. Sometimes it helps to have an outside person look at what's going with your energy field. So the throat chakra, let's work on that when I do the meditation and prayer today. I very happily will do that, the throat and going down into the high heart. Hi, Lauren Riley. Yesterday was filled with 22s, Sally. Yeah, for me too. Absolutely. It was like 222 and 222. Those I saw consistently. Wendy, thank you for putting in the name of the group. We are Angelic River Family. Oh, yeah, my belief mug. Believe. That's so important. Hi, Jean Lorio. Hi, honey. Jean, our darling Jeryl is on the road right now. She had to take her husband to the hospital, and they did keep him. So she's on her way back home. So she is on the road right now. And we're going to lift her up big time all day today. Oh, Diane, you lost the sound. I hope you're all hearing me. All right, so let's see. What else is going on? Um, oh, Sally, you're moving all your house plants to the center because the cats do the same. Yeah, cats just love plants. They love grass. Anything that looks, like it's edible, they're going to try anyway. Hi, Lillian. Thank you for coming on. I know I've missed people. Um, oh, thank you, Carrie, for those words. She highly recommends the reading with me. It is freeing, and some people have found it life-changing when they get those messages from the angels. Okay, Karen, I'm having a mysterious day. Strange clouds this morning, I noticed. Later, a man began to talk to me as I walked along, and he was really sweet. I wonder if he was maybe an angel. He just had a lovely energy. Later on, I saw a man I know in the street, and we had a chat. He said how special I am and was nice. And then I looked at the time, and it was 13:13. Oh yeah, I think you might have had that encounter. Anybody else had an encounter with angels that you can recall and you want to share with us? I really want to hear this because I have had so many in my lifetime. I see them. I've always seen and communicated with the angels, but there have been certain points in life where earth angels came to me. And one time, and I'll share this story, there's been many, but there was one time, and this was years and years ago, like 40. I was in my early 20s, so it's over 40 years ago. um, I was very sick. I was pregnant, and I was very sick, and I thought that the illness was the pregnancy. I I didn't know that I was dying. Okay, which I was. But I went to my doctor, and I told him, I said, "Am I supposed to be this sick?" It was my first pregnancy. and they ended up putting me in the hospital for some tests. And it so happened that I was in kidney failure in my 6th month of pregnancy. So they admitted me to the hospital, and the doctors talked to me, and I was so scared, and I knew nothing about what they were saying or what they were talking about. So what they ended up doing was putting me on dialysis immediately. And for any of you who don't know, dialysis is a machine that takes your blood and runs it through a process and then puts it back in your body and cleans all of the impurities out of the blood. So they kind of explained to me what that was, but I'm 21, I'm scared to death, and not knowing what's going on. Well, they had to give me an anesthetic so they could do the surgery to hook me up to the machine. So as I woke up and came out of that, I'm all by myself in a hospital room, this huge machine, because back then it was like really humongous. It was like floor to ceiling almost. And I'm hooked up to this machine. I see the lines, I see the blood, and I freaked out because I had no idea what was going on. And I'm yelling out for somebody because I was all by myself. And this woman walked in, and she told me that it was okay, that I was going to be all right, and that nothing was alarming, there was nothing to be afraid of. And then she walked back out of the room. I never saw her again. I asked about her. I asked the nurses, I asked the doctors who that was, because she was really a very special, I thought she was a nurse, but she didn't have like a nurse's uniform on, and nobody knew or saw her. And I know in my heart that that was my earth angel that was there with me as I woke up from that very scary experience. And I've had many times in my life where there's been somebody there, they'll say a word of comfort or a word of something, and then they're gone, they're not there anymore. So I just wondered if anyone else has had an angel encounter, if there's anything in your life where you needed that touch, you needed that word, you just needed them at that moment to be there with you and for you. And they do show up. They show up in a big way when our hearts call out in that way for them. Carol, I had an earth angel change the direction of my life. I was about to enter the Navy, and she came to me at a wedding and told me not to do it, that it wasn't my path. Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. And Sally, I see you're on the road, honey. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers. Hi, Alyssa Shepard. Good morning to you. And anybody else that I might have missed that jumped in. Um, oh, the sound was on your end. Okay, Diane, thank you. And thank you for coming back. We're talking about earth angels and any time that one has intervened for you. And the other thing, they do help us when we need that help. Um, Okay, before I go to the other thing, I want to see what Christina says. Hi, Christina. Thank you for being here. She says, I have, starting as a child, they saved me from a fall down a flight of stairs. I literally was surrounded in white light and floated to the bottom of the flight of stairs. I also had a doctor while I was pregnant save me and my daughter on a gut feeling he had after all monitors and tests came back good. In reality, I was bleeding out internally. I got 4 bags of blood to replace an emergency C-section. Yeah, that was definitely the angels guiding that. And I'm glad you put it that way, because when we talk about the clairs on Sunday, we're going to talk about those gut feelings, and you're going to get more information about what's happening when you get that intuitive thought or nudge. And I'm so excited about the class. But what I wanted to share is, I don't know if anybody watched Robert's class last night. Or not class, his live. Robert Painley was on last night with Spirit Focus. and he had on one of my dear friends, Tiffany Koiken. Tiffany runs the store Love and Light Spiritual Emporium that's near me, that I do a lot of my healings at. They have a beautiful healing room, and I also do angel circles there, which reminds me I need to set up another angel circle online because I miss doing that and I want to get back to it. But they were talking last night, and the topic of near-death experiences came up. So I'd love to hear from you. Has anyone out there, by show of hands, or you can type in to the comments, has anyone experienced a near-death experience? Let's talk about that for a minute after I see what comments are coming through. Alyssa said, "My boyfriend and I had an earth angel show up in the wilderness in California. He and I had been arguing really badly, and this man came out of the woods, gave us a nugget of herb, and then smiled and vanished back into the forest. We could not find him no matter how we tried or called. I guess he knew we needed to relax." Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Lauren, you survived 16 surgeries in the first 15 years of life. Wow, honey, that's a lot, and that's a lot of energy to be cleared out also. I've got the same. I probably may be there with that amount. I've had a lot of physical issues this lifetime, but there's a lot of energy after you've had a surgery, and you can go in and do some energy healing in there. So definitely we lift you up and send you some prayers to do that. There's a lot of comments. Hi, I'm so glad you are so interactive this morning. Diana, I want to read yours. After Steve died, you taught me to ask the angels, help me begin to sleep again. They came right in that night, and I finally managed to sleep again. So thank you for that. I honestly didn't even realize that I could ask the angels for small things like good sleep. We can ask them for anything. I ask the angels about food. It's a really good idea to do that. And what they showed me is it's kind of like muscle testing. They're like, okay, when you're shopping, when you're thinking about getting something to put in your mouth to eat, just take us with you and just ask, is this for my best and highest good? And I feel a nudge if there's something that I'm supposed to try that's new. It's like a really good, exciting kind of nudge. If I'm not supposed to have it, I feel a coldness. I feel like this, oh no, step away from the food, Terry. So they do guide us in everything. Diana, thank you for bringing that up because, yeah, it doesn't matter how big or small it feels to us because with the angels and with spirit, there is no big or small. Everything is the same, everything is equal. So, absolutely, we can ask and get guidance on whatever is needed. Oh, Sharon, you watched Robert last night for half an hour. I think it was at the end of the show that he and Tiffany talked about near death experiences. Carrie, I was in a laundromat very, very late one night washing softball uniforms when two men popped up out of nowhere and were coming at me. A man appeared out of the blue and said to these two men, "You do not want to do this. You need to go now." They bolted, and I turned to thank him, and he was gone. He had on a Food Lion shirt like a manager, so I went the next day to buy him lunch, and there was no one there that fit his description, and they did not have a male manager. He saved my life. Wow, I have chills all over my body because Carrie, I had a very similar experience when I was in college. I was so young and I lived in a big town in Kentucky. It's Lexington. I was going to University of Kentucky and I was walking to work because I had a part-time job and I had on our work uniform was a white uniform. And I felt the presence of a car behind me. You know how you just know, you hear that soft sound of the engine. And so I started walking a little faster and it was following me. It was staying right behind me. And finally, I ran across the street. I wasn't even to where I work. I ran across the street as fast as I could. I did look back and I saw the car, and I was heading into one of the buildings at the university that I went to. And he turned into the parking lot and he hit the engine, hit the gas, and went right up to the steps of where I was, and I couldn't get in the door. The door wasn't open yet. So I'm stuck there at the door of this building, and there's a car, raging maniac, that's coming at me and ready to get out of the car. And he did open the car door, and all of a sudden I heard somebody yell out to him and to say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And this man was next door. There was a tennis court, and he was right there behind the screen, the tennis court. And the guy saw that there was somebody else there, so he left. And as I turned back around to say thank you, there was no one at the tennis courts. There was no one anywhere. It was just me. I was isolated there all by myself. So I had nightmares after that. That woke me up from my sleep, and I would be screaming without screaming. That that when you there's no sound coming out, but you are screaming. But I was saved at that point, and that was early, early in my life. Yeah, so they're there. They help us. They really are everywhere whenever we need them. Wendy, I want to read your comment. Many years ago, where I was working, I heard the most beautiful singing. I was working in a building alone, and it was at night. Anyway, I followed the sound and it led me to a man. He told me his name was Eunice. His voice was amazing, like an angel. I didn't ask what he was doing in the building and thought he may have been security, but he wasn't wearing any name bag or uniform. I never ever saw him again after that. I love these. I love these comments. And Lauren, I see your comment. I have cerebral palsy. Most surgeries were on my legs. Oh, my darling, you're 34 now. Blessings to you and so much love. And Lauren, you know that we do, I hope you know that we do prayer at the end of the show. And let's put you in there for sure. I'm trying to read some more of these comments before prayer time. Thank you all for sharing. Joanne says, my daughter started falling from a tree after climbing in my neighbor's yard. As she was falling, it was like all of a sudden everything moved in slow motion. My stepson witnessed this along with one of the kids in the neighborhood. The expressions on their faces were priceless, I'm sure. I am so sure that that was divine intervention that happened. And thank you for sharing that. Christina, in the pregnancy I just described, I had a near death experience. I know I witnessed something extraordinary, but I was told I could not remember what I had seen yet, only that it was truly awesome. Diane Deagle remembers having an experience with a nun as she had to leave the room. I believe my energy was so angry it changed my life. Felt a little mixed up for a while, but it got better. Yeah. Yeah, we go through those stages, and the introspection is what brings us to the point of knowing that it's time to release some of that. Carrie says she got chills as I tell about my story, and yeah, I do too. Even still, after all these years, that was when I was in college. I was very very young. Good morning, Charles Coons. Hello, and thanks for being here. Okay, so one more I'm going to read, and then please start putting in your prayer request. Anybody that wants to put that in, and please remember Jeryl Ann and Sam this morning, if somebody would type that in. Isabel says, back 30 years ago in New Jersey, a bad snow morning, and I am the middle line driving with cars on both sides and all going really slow. Suddenly, we all hit a slippery area where I lost control of my car. It was dancing and I couldn't stop it. I remember closing my eyes and asked for help, and I didn't want to see what was going to happen. After a little bit, I didn't hear any crashing or bumping in any cars. Opened my eyes, and I am alone on the highway. No cars around me, and I am in my middle lane, still straight and peaceful. It was God's hands. It was God's hands. Isabel, oh my gosh, what an experience. Thank you for sharing that. How beautiful. Beautiful. Julie Kiss, I went to the Syracuse State Fair with friends at age 18. My friends left me with no ride home. As we got separated, no phone, no cell phone back then, 1 hour away from home. Earth Angel man showed up in empty parking lot and brought me all the way home. Will never forget that. Ooh, I have thoroughly loved all of your sharing this morning. Thank you for sharing your Earth Angel experiences. The angels are there. They're real. They're there. And these are just a handful of stories that people have told and have shared about how they intervene when our life is in danger or we're nearing death and it's not our time to go. And they're there. They're right there. I love that last one. Isabel, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that about how they intervene at that time when it could have been the end for you. It could have been that crash that would have ended your life. So I'm so grateful to the angels for helping you out at that time. And on another show, let's talk about near death experiences because I've had a few. And I want to talk when we do that, when we hold that conversation, I want to talk about those exit points. We all have the opportunity when it's our time to say I have more work to do. I don't want to go just yet. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about our divine timing and how that looks like. So Isabel is putting a prayer request in for Joan and Sam, and Deirdre, thank you for Jeryl Ann and Sam, and Christina for Geraldine and for Tony, absolutely. And hi, Barb Falk. Thank you for joining us. You're from Panda, Ontario, and yes, we will absolutely pray for you. I didn't know there was a Panda, Ontario. Carrie, prayer request for my beautiful neighbor's daughter who was just diagnosed with a very aggressive leukemia. She's very young. Her name is Brittany. Please lift her up. We absolutely will. Okay. And Wendy, thank you for Sam and Gerald Ann. Lauren, Earth Angel, will you be mine? I love that song, and now I'm going to have that song in my head, but that's okay. It's a very beautiful song to have in my head. Cecile, I'm sorry, Charles wants prayers for Cecile Laurie, a 96-year-old woman from Las Vegas with cancer. Absolutely, Charles. Thank you for putting that in. And Lillian, prayers for Gerald Ann and Sam, and some prayers for you, Lillian, as you're going to an MRI scan of your head tomorrow. Absolutely. And thank you, Carrie, prayers for Gerald Ann and Sam. And Etta, kindly pray for dear Sam and for Tony to be absolutely healthy. Also, prayers for their doctors and medical experts to do the right diagnosis. Prayers for all of us, especially Jeryl Ann and Teri, myself and Sally. Thank you. Oh, it's not Panda, it's Canada. I was wondering. I'm like, oh, I think I might want to go visit Panda, Ontario. So that's okay. Sometimes those words just come out, and with autocorrect especially, they come out with something that's really funny. So thank you for letting me know that. And Julie Kiss, prayers for Sam and Gerald Ann, and for a good outcome today with conflict for your husband and the contractor. Yes, Julie, we certainly will do that. Um, I at point 6 months ago with a car accident. A trucker tried to cut us off in my little Honda coming from the merge lane onto the highway. We swerved to not be crushed, bounced off another car, and ended up sliding across the 4-lane freeway past full traffic and stopped in the median on the other side with only a dent and a bruised back. I was told by an angel interpreter that it was an exit point. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it was. And I want to have a show where we're sharing those near death experiences. So I don't know if we'll do it on this one, but we'll definitely have that show coming up. Gabby, I used to work in mining, drove loaders and heavy machinery. On a night shift, I was rushing to clear a pile of dirt. Came up too fast to a windrow with a raised full bucket. Silly me. I the loader started to tip over the edge down the 50-foot drop. To this day, I don't know what brought the back of it down, but yeah, I know what it was. We all know what it was. It was that angel that intervened to help you because that wasn't your time. You're supposed to be here with us, and I'm so glad that you are. Good morning, Catherine Kovacs. Okay. Lily, prayers for everyone here, for Mother Earth. And Diane Deagle, thank you. Prayers for all involved in the riots to bring them peace and love. Prachir, prayers for Etta to be strong. Prayers for Jeryl, Sam, Sally, and Tony to be safe. And special prayers for a very special Teri Angel. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you, Prachir. Hi, Patricia Hegarty. And this is bringing us to our prayer time. And as I mentioned, the angels gave me the nudge that we are going to open up the throat chakra. And I feel like we need to do that before we even go into the prayers. So I'm going to set the mic down. So any of you that would like to follow along, I'm going to just do real quickly some healing going out to anyone that needs to have the energy moving in your throat. The throat chakra runs around your physical throat. And the energy that's there is a beautiful blue energy. It's like a light sky blue. This energy controls the communication. So communication goes both ways. It can be things that you need to say that may be stuck in there and you can't authentically speak your voice, say what you want to say, whether it's like a yes, if you want to say a yes, or no, if you want to say a no. It also is about hearing. That's the other side of communication. Being able to listen, being able to take in that energy into yourself to process it. Sometimes we shut off being able to hear what other people have to say. So that puts a block there in your throat chakra as well. So the energy can get stagnant and not run the way it should run around your throat. It might feel like you need to clear your throat. It might feel like you have a sore throat, but there's nothing that's wrong. You don't have a cold or anything. You also might feel a physical symptom in your throat. It might hurt. You might have tension or a pain there. So let's just take a moment before we do the prayers. We're going to do our breathing first. Breathe into your heart center. You all know how to do this. Get very centered and focused and balanced. As you breathe in, breathing in the deep breath deep into your heart, and then release that energy out. And I taught a breathing technique to the class last Sunday. It's very simple. It's a two-step breathing process where you breathe. First, you breathe deeply, as deep down as you can into your lungs, and let your belly pooch out. You all know how to do that. And then you're going to take another short breath into the heart. So it looks like, so you breathe first way into the stomach, and then you breathe into the heart, and then you exhale it out your mouth. And you're doing all of this, exhaling out the mouth. So let's do that now. Breathe in as deep as you can into the stomach, and then to the heart, and release it. Do that a few times as we go into this clearing process of clearing the throat chakra energy. So breathe it into deeply into your lungs to go into the diaphragm. And this is not only going to help you relax your body, it's going to help you connect with spirit and especially with the angels. So, as you're doing that, I'm going to focus energy on the throat, and we're going to just start to open up that energy. And I've shown some how to do this. It's very simple. You feel your own chi energy, so you can do this yourself if you want. Just put your hands right at the throat, and you're going to just open that area. That's your energy. That's your life force energy that you're feeling. Continue to do that breathing process as you're doing this. And now I'm going to just send some healing energy, some angelic Reiki mixed with some time heals and some quantum touch energy going out to anybody that wants to accept it right now. So if there's an area in your throat where the energy's not moving, if it's an issue where you're not able to speak up and let your voice be heard, let's move that energy away, moving out the fear, moving out the feeling of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy for my voice to be heard. Let's clear that. Let's cancel that old tape because you are worthy to be heard. You do deserve to have your voice to be heard. All voices matter. You matter. So just receive the healing energy that's coming to you. It doesn't matter whether you're here physically with me, you're here energetically with me. So you're able to receive the healing that's coming forth. Just take a moment to breathe it in. Continue to do that breathing process. Opening up your fields, opening up the throat, opening up the high heart, which is in between the throat and your physical heart. I feel some of that energy moving. So if you felt movement around your throat, that was the energy that's coming in to clear any low vibration. So we're going to ask for that now. We ask and call in Archangel Raphael to heal any place where there's stagnant energy in the throat chakra, anywhere there's stagnant energy in the high heart, and open up both chakras to be able to receive love, to know that you're worthy of love. And just feeling into what's happening. I see a lot of pink and green and blue all mixed in, starting to swirl around. So anyone that wants to receive this energy, just say yes. Just say your yes and be open to allow it to come into your throat. And at any point you want to feel your own energy and see if it's a little stuck, that's all you do. Just move your hands outward. Just move them out, breathe them back in, and then move it back out again. And that helps to start that process of the energy moving. So sending blessings to all who felt that, all who accepted that healing this morning during our prayer time, and anyone who will accept it, just bring it into your energy field. So now let's go deeper into our heart. We've opened up the throat and we've opened up the high heart. Let's go right into our heart chakra. And you do that with the breath. Continue to do that breathing pattern that I taught. Deep breath in, let your diaphragm expand, and then into the heart, and then back out the mouth. And as we do that, I'm asking the other angels to join in, especially Archangel Michael, calling on Michael for protection, who all need it, especially our dear Jeryl Ann, who's on the road this morning. Please protect her in her vehicle. Let it be a safe journey back home, and then protect her home as she's there. Thank you. Anyone else who needs the protective energy around you? We're calling on Michael to surround anyone who needs that protective energy. And Michael he can be everywhere. So if you feel like you need it, but somebody else needs it more, please lose that thought. Michael can be everywhere at any time. And if all you have to do is call on him. You don't even have to say his name. Just if you don't remember it, it's the angel that protects. And that's the way with all of our angels. Just call on the angel that whatever it is you need them for, they'll be there. And let's call in Archangel Gabriel to give us that clarity, to help us see clearly what is needed. We ask Gabriel to help the doctors to see clearly with our darling Tony and with Sam and anyone else who's undergoing testing. I believe it was Lillian that's going for the MRI scan. For myself, as I go to the doctor right after this for an ultrasound and help guide the testing process, help everything to be healthy and that it will be a clear report. And now let's look at the other prayer requests as we're sitting in our heart space. And let's ask Uriel to help us to ground into the energy, to transform and transmute anything that's low vibration. So, any of these energies that are in the prayer request, we've all seen the messages, we've seen the comments of who's asking for help. And let's ask it, whatever is needed for each of these prayer requests, be covered with the white light coming directly from God, be covered in the best and best possible way, and for their best and highest good, for each one to be lifted up, to be healed, to be ministered in the way that is in their path. We don't always see the big picture. So when someone is going through a struggle or going through a physical challenge, we don't see what that's all about. Our challenges make us stronger, but sometimes it's our choice that we chose that time to move on. And we're the ones left behind that have to accept that. So, whatever is in that person's path, that's what we're asking for their best and highest good. And let's ask now for the angels to help us to release the energy of that, to release whatever our attachment to the outcome is, to let it go, to let that attachment go and lift all of these requests up to God, asking that white light to cover each and every one, asking the angels to be right there with them as they're going through their challenge and going through their struggles. Let's remember our dear Mother Earth right now and every inhabitant on Earth. Let's remember all of those that are in chaos and upheaval, all the unrest that's taking place in the world. This is another one of those challenges and struggles that is here facing all of us. We're all dealing with it, some more so than others. For some, it's closer by. So we lift up all of those that are involved in the protests. We ask if they are seeking to have change, that they look inside and see how they can change, and then put out that message peacefully. Let's ask for an end to the violence, an end to the unrest, and move it more to how can we work together? What do we want to see in the world? Do we want to see more violence? Then that's what will continue. But if we want to see peace and we want to see a world of beauty, then let's put that energy out there. And we do make a difference. Each person makes a difference when we put that intention and we put that energy for peace. That's what we see, because we're adding to the higher frequency of the planet. Just taking another deep breath, and let's just have a moment. I feel very led right now to have a moment of silence for each inhabitant of Earth right now. We've been through so much. There's been loss. There's been fear, anxiety, and it feels very emotional right now. The whole energy of the planet feels very emotional, and I've got tears just from feeling into it. So if we can, let's all set an intention right now together. If you'll join me in this intention, that peace will come in our earth. Peace will come to our earth. That's our intention as a collective. That the energy will have a huge shift. That what we're doing right here, right now, in this moment, is important. We are making change. We're making a change for the better. So if we can take a moment of silence and each of us go into our heart space, surrounded by our angels, and really hold that vision, hold the vision of Mother Earth covered with white light, covered with peace in each person's heart, that each person will want that in their world and will ask the question, how can I bring peace about in our world? What can I do to affect this change toward peace? So I'm going to be silent for a moment, if you will as well, and a moment asking God to, as we all put our energy toward this intention and this thought and this prayer. Thank you. Thank you for holding that vision with me as I held the earth and I saw that white light covering the earth. I felt it. I felt it in my heart. And I asked God to please hear each one of our hearts, to hear our desire to have peace on earth. And at the end of that moment, at the end, when it was like, okay, it's time to open my eyes again, I heard the thunder. And it was like that was my sign that yes, it was heard. We were heard. Our hearts were heard. So thank you. And now let's give some love. Let's really take in that energy of love today. We felt it didn't we? As we did the peace. Show me some hearts if you felt that peace inside, if you felt that pure, unconditional love inside of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let's share some love. I'm going to envision Jeryl sitting right beside of me like we were at the river because her energy is right here with me. So I want you to just sit around the circle and just envision one person there beside of you. And let's just say to that person from your heart, I love you. Use your voice. We opened it up. Use your throat chakra voice and say I love you to that person right now. I love you. And then let's bring it back around, feeling it in our hearts, feeling it coming back to us. Beautiful. Thank you for the hearts. Yes, I see the love going out and coming back. And as we hold that in our heart now, let's say to the entire group that's gathered here, and I see 22, the number 22, which is a beautiful sign that the angels are here with us. And yes, Deirdre, I know I'm crying too, and it's beautiful, beautiful energy that we all lifted up together. Let's say to each other, thank you, I love you, and we're going to do it on the count of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Thank you, I love you. And I do love you. You all are so beautiful. Aren't we all beautiful? Our hearts, when we open up and look inside, are full of beauty, full of compassion, and full of love for each other. Hold on to that through your day. Let your day be one filled with peace and joy in your heart. And hi, Andrea, and all of you that came in as we were doing the prayer. I love you so very much. And I want to invite you all also. I know we have shows this morning. 9 o'clock is the Core Connection with Mira Rubin. And then 9:30 is Diana coming to the playground. That happens at EWN Enlightened Living. But at 11 o'clock this morning, I'm going to repeat the 7-generation clearing and healing. And I know some of you have been with me the last 2 days doing that. If you get a chance to come into that clearing, it's very powerful. We go back 7 generations on both the mother side and the father side in your ancestry, and we clear any energy that's there that's low vibration. And we send healing energy with the help of the angels. They send that golden healing light all the way back. So if you get a chance to do that, it's at 11 o'clock Eastern this morning. I will be leading that on the meditation that happens every day on Enlightened World. And then on Thursday, I'll be also doing it again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you have an opportunity through the week to participate in this 7-generation healing. And it really is needed for what's going on in our world today, especially the unrest and all of the things that's happening. And I say this in the healing itself, but I just want to share that, and I believe it's true, that we are affected by 7 generations that have come before us. And what we're doing now in our lifetime affects 7 generations going forward. So it's time for us to really clear the energy and to hold the energy now in our current world up to the light, for it to be transmuted from all that anger, all that unrest, all of that sadness and illness. It's time for that to be transmuted so that we don't keep passing that on to our descendants, to our children's children. So I urge you and invite you to come in and help carry this energy to be transmuted. And that's at 11 o'clock this morning. Thank you all for being here. I love you so much. And hopefully I will see you today. And thank you for those wishing me luck at the doctor. I'm heading out right now to go to that appointment. And blessings to each and every one of you. I love you. I'll see you back in the morning, and Jeryl Ann will be with me in the morning as usual on our morning show. Bye, everybody.